All right, grown-ups, it's just our time. I love the babies, but to help you, I gotta speak my mind. This segment's here to help you grow with book reviews, lessons, and things you'll be glad to know. If your little one's restless or looking to play, send them to my other playlist. The read-alouds there will brighten their day. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Teacher Lady Show. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Behind the Book. I'm Miss Erica, the Teacher Lady, your fairy godparent when it comes to sharing joyful stories and growing young minds. Now, every single week on the Teacher Lady Show, we are tackling a new topic. And this week's topic is all about bullying. How are we keeping our child safe at school and in after school programs, martial arts, or wherever else they might be? But we also are addressing those children that are becoming bullies to make sure that we stop it. That is all on Friday's Teacher Lady Speaks episode. But today we are going to be doing a behind the book review on The Smallest Girl in the Smallest Grade. Now, winding back on Monday on the Teacher Lady Reads playlist, we had a read aloud of this story. But today we are going to be doing a deep dive review. We will be going over the glows, what I think was done well, the grows, what I think could have been done differently, who this book is for, and probably most importantly, how do you use it as a resource to hold a discussion about bullying with your child? All in this episode of Behind the Book, where we go beyond the pages to get to the heart of the story. You ready? Let's grow. Summary in my own words. The Smallest Girl in the Smallest Grade is a story of a girl who is constantly ignored, kind of forgotten about in a lot of ways because of her size and just because of her quietness. But she's very observant, and she gets to a point of frustration with all of the mistreatment of the people around her. And as a result of that frustration, she decides to speak up, and that is where real change happens. So it's a story of bravery. It is a story of self-advocacy, and it's a story of community advocacy. And I really appreciated the main character getting to a point to where it was time that she make a change and speak on the things she had been observing. Take home message in target age group. I would say that the take-home message is to count no one out. Sally might be the smallest girl in that grade, but she had the biggest voice and she had the biggest impact. There's the take-home message of making sure that you speak up, making sure that you witness and notice the things that are around you, to be observant and to be kind to people. And I love that. That is what our children need most at this point. In terms of target age group, I would say again, 5 years old and up is a good age to start reading this book. That is also where you can have the discussion around bullying and just general mistreatment. So it works well for this topic. Who this book is for. This is a staple book, okay? And what a staple book means is if you have children, if you service a school, if you're a guidance counselor, you need books that should just be readily available to the community that you're serving or helping or parenting. This is one of those books. And I say that because children need a reminder and they need to be shown what it means to stop bullying in action. What does it mean to speak up for those who are too scared to speak up for themselves, and to finally be tired of seeing all of these things be wrong in your classroom or in your school and deciding to do something about it. So because it's a staple book, if there are children around, I highly recommend that you add it to your list of resources. Glows. One of the glows is the fact that Sally is so underrated, okay? She's counted out, she's ignored, she's kind of laughed at. And then boom, she is the one that brings a sense of unity to the classroom. Her speaking up and demanding change really makes the other students in her class start to be kinder to each other. And so one of the glows is the beautiful impact that you can have by using your voice, because your voice is very powerful. And in Sally's case, she put her finger up and everybody else followed as this way to say, hey, we see you, we too understand, and we too realize that enough is enough. Another glow would definitely be the images. I love the designs of the different characters throughout the book. There was a ton of diversity. There are different body shapes and sizes and skin colors, and that list continues. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy the look and the layout of the pages. Grows. In terms of grows, I actually don't have any. It is a pretty straightforward story. It is a rhyming story, and it has a beautiful ending, a powerful punch. And so I just really appreciate what is here. I always say if a grow doesn't automatically come to mind, that means that I don't have one, and there's no need for me to go looking for one. Overall, I feel like this book came to accomplish exactly what it wanted to, and I'm so glad about that. Discussion points to have with your child. When it comes to bullying, it is truly important that your child understand what bullying is. They need to understand what it means to be mistreated, and they need to understand that it's not acceptable or okay for them to just be made fun of. And so I would point out some of the ways in this book that people were mean to each other or that the mistreatment was taking place, and to kind of gauge and understand if your child is facing anything similar. I would also have a discussion around Sally and what she did and how brave that was and how scary that must have been, because so often we don't speak up or do the right thing because we are scared of the response. So normalizing using your voice and advocating for others is going to be a great idea when it comes to the discussion points that you want to have with your children. And then also just the importance of recognizing, like, it doesn't matter what size you are, what color you are, even how old you are. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Don't be so scared to share your voice. Even if it shakes, share it anyway. So there are definitely a lot of conversations that you can have reading this book. This is a book you want to read and pause and discuss and then revisit again. Final thoughts. Wow, I really did enjoy sharing this book on this channel. I feel like so many children need the reminder that they are powerful and that they can enact change if they just decide to face some of those fears and speak up and help their community. Thank you so much for learning with me and for reading with me. I really appreciate you all being here. If you did not know, I am an author and an illustrator, and I also started a program called the Empathy Library, where we get books like this to children in need on purpose. Those libraries reflect the child that is receiving the books, and so check that out, as well as my books and the Teacher Lady Speaks episode on Friday. Until next time, you remember to enjoy the moment or go be a joy in the moment. Bye.